a position is something that we actually are in need of. The wide receiver position. We need that number 2, somebody that's going to take the pressure off of Mr. McLaurin, Terry McLaurin, and also potentially take the top of the defense. You know, as our guy Ab was saying, Terry McLaurin had been made with kind of the quarterbacks we have made into a possession receiver. We need somebody like a Deshaun Jackson when he was here, somebody that can do that fly pattern, bring those safeties and those corners deep so we can open up the underneath middle of the field. There's a couple free agents that are out there, Juju Smith-Schuster, Allen Robinson, Russell Gage, a couple of these guys, and obviously there's a couple guys coming in from the draft. Where do you want to lean, or is there a trade or something you might want to make?
Man, this is such a hard position, I think, right now for us, and I am so frustrated now to be in this position because if I could redo it, I would not have signed Curtis Samuel because we didn't see him play. And they're the guys that are in this wide receiver free agent class are the guys I would be throwing the money to. Yep. You know, the guys like Godwin, Allen Robinson, Devontae Adams, Juju. I love the kid from LA, Mike Williams. Yeah. Love that. The problem is I don't think we can afford that. I don't think we can do that if your plan is to re-sign Terry. Right. I don't know how you could have 3 wide receivers making more than $12 to $20 million each. No. I think that's just too much money allocated into one position. But I mean, if we're not getting a Russell Wilson and we're getting a drafting quarterback, if we're not re-signing Brandon Sheriff and we're going lower at guard and we've got money to spend, then if we've got it in the cap and we think we can make it work, like if they figure out we are not getting one of these quarterbacks, we're going to have a rookie, this is how we're going to do it, then if, as much help as we can get, shoot, if you can bring in someone like Juju, I'd be all for it. I'd be all for it. If they think they can make it work. I don't know how they're going to do it because I really do think they need to be looking this offseason at extending Terry. But I think Terry needs to be also looking at who is going to throw me the ball. Exactly. Because until you get me that, I'm not talking to you. And I would not blame him for that either. I would applaud the man for saying, this is my career. Y'all need to get me someone before we talk extension.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now some of the names I looked at, they're lower key. So like just like with running back, they're not the big names. But some of them, the theme is speed. All right. Yeah. So I got Marquis Goodwin. Okay. He's been hurt for the last couple of years, but when he was in San Francisco, he started to really flash. As a guy who's just simply speed is a guy named Travis Benjamin. Yeah. All right. And so he would basically be what we thought Diami could be. Take the top on someone. He's there as a speed threat. All right. I'm interested in Russell Gage. He made some plays as a Falcon. He did. And now the thing with Atlanta is I don't think Calvin Ridley is going to be on the team this year. I think they're going to part ways with him. So is Gage going to come back and get more action there? I don't know. And then the only other name I got is another Falcon. He's a slot guy. Olamide Zaccheaus.
Yo, he was actually pretty dominant in college. I do remember him in college. Yeah. I haven't seen him in the pros.
He's had flashes here and there, and again, he'd be under the radar. Actually, I got two more names for you. Yeah. One would be a homecoming. This would be like the idea of like, if you don't sign McKissick, can you put more money to this veteran receiver who knows how to play slot, knows how to get open? Would Jamison Crowder be open to reunite here in DC? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think we made a mistake letting him go the last time when we thought it was a good deal. But and then the last one I got, and this is you've been injured, we're going to give you 1 year to prove yourself, is Will Fuller. Yes. I love that Will Fuller pick, and I love that the Crowder pick because honestly, like you said, the Crowder pick, I thought, why did we let him go? He was doing well for us. And for many years over in New York, he was their only glimmer of hope. You know what I mean? He is legit. He's been that way for a while. I like it, man. I like a lot of those picks, a lot of those guys. I would be interested in looking at
Emmanuel Sanders, but he's had some very big goose eggs this year, but he's also blown up and had some great, so there's a high upside out of that guy. I followed him since he came from SMU. I love what he's got going on in that Buffalo offense. He was good, and then now there was a lot of balls going around, and then Josh Allen carried it a lot himself. You know what I mean? That is definitely something I'd be interested in. Fuller for me, yes, absolutely. Russell Gage, that's another ones I talked about. What about John Ross? You talk about take the top.
Is he a free agent?
And it says for the New York Giants.
Yeah, we identified him last year. I was ticked off the Giants got him. So yeah, absolutely. For the same thing, he's pretty much the only route you're going to do is go deep.
Yeah. Just send him on that deep route, let him go. And if we have a quarterback, again, a lot of this is predicated on that quarterback that can throw it deep. Because Heineke ain't that guy.
No.
So we're going to have to figure that part out right there. Nathan said, would you trade Curtis Samuel?
I would, I think, but I don't know what market there'd be. I don't want to trade him for a fourth-round pick.
Right.
And I really think that, their thing is he's going to be healthy. He's going to be the dynamic player that we anticipated. But, of course, you got to listen.
Yeah. And actually, moving on, we're going to move on to tight ends.
Do not put that up. Do not put that up there.
We just dropped him. We had him last year, and we got rid of him. Nathan, you were here with us, man. Come on now. Come on, man. Yo, we need to move on. We're going to go into the tight end portion of it. Honestly, Logan Thomas, we know he got hurt a year ago. He will be coming back. Our gem steal of a find, John Bates out of Boise State, had a great year with us once he got in there. Sure hands, great blocking. He's definitely showed up. I think we still have Ricky Seals-Jones.
He's free agent.
He's a free agent. So is there anybody that you're looking at tight end there?
There are. And I am bargain hunting here. Okay. I'm going to that Walmart bin for $5 and trying to find a Sandlot in there is what I'm looking to do. See if I can sneak that one out of there. First off, like you said, Logan Thomas, man, our offense was hurt when he got out. So he's so important to us. John Bates turned out to be a really good tight end, and we want to have someone else there. We need another guy who can step up if either one of those gets hurt. Because when Logan goes down, man, our offense completely changes. Yeah. I would bring back Ricky Seals-Jones. Yeah. I thought he did well enough to in spurts. He couldn't do it for a 17-game stretch. But he really made some plays. There are a couple guys out there. I don't know if they want to come here as a backup tight end, like a Hayden Hurst in Atlanta, because he's kind of been ousted there in Atlanta. But he can do a little bit more than Bates can offensively. I don't know if the dude just for offense, David Njoku would be an option. Again, a little more offense than all around. I've got a name. And I'm pulling a Sean Spencer here with his North Carolina guys. So several years ago, there was a tight end out of Wisconsin that I thought was going to light the NFL on fire as a steal by the name of Troy Fumagalli. He got drafted in Denver, which is the worst place for him because of all those tight ends they got. And he's been injured. He tore his ACL, so he didn't play there. Then he signed with New England, who then signed 2 more tight ends last offseason. So the dude hasn't gotten a chance to play at all. I would love to see him brought in on our practice squad.
Yeah.
Because I think Troy has a chance, dang it. And I want to see him given that opportunity. There's one other guy, if we can't bring back Ricky Seals-Jones, was a guy who was a former Washington Redskin. His name is Donald Parham. He played for the Chargers.
Yeah.
He's 6'8". He is a basketball convert, player converted to a tight end. And he was with us in training camp in 2019, and they loved him. The thing they said was he's just raw. He's learning how to play tight end. And he's learned it. And he makes plays for the Chargers and now and again. And, if this is your third tight end, he can make plays out there. So Ricky Seals-Jones, Donald Parham would be, and let Fumagalli go in the practice squad.
Yeah, no, hey, Ricky Seals-Jones for me too, because as we saw when Heineke, a lot of his passes were a little higher. Having somebody like that who could climb the ladder to get those, I think was key. Hayden Hurst, I have been monitoring his little back and forth in Atlanta, so that would be a nice pick. But again, playing number 2, I don't know if he'd be interested in doing that. What is the other name I saw? Oh, Ally Cox.
Oh,
I've been paying attention to him when I've been watching the Colts. I really like what he has. He's got a good size. I'm interested to see, like, he had certain glimmers of hope a year ago with the Colts, but Carson Wentz, as we talked about, isn't that great, so wasn't giving him enough attention. And they ran the ball a lot too. So I think Ally Cox as like a good number 2. Right, if we don't go after Ricky Seals-Jones, I think him and Logan Thomas would be a good 1-2 punch at tight end, and potentially help our play action game go. So yeah, I'd be all about those guys. And then as somebody that's just maybe just out there, and it's just like he's available, we'll see what happens. Zach Ertz, I don't know what it would take to get him, but it would be fun to have some flair like when we had Jordan Reed at tight end. Now, Logan Thomas has a little bit, and that's it. You got two alphas there, so I don't know, how that would work out. But I've been kind of monitoring him. When he went to the Cardinals last year, I was like, oh, I didn't know you were even willing to leave. We've seen what he's done with the Eagles against us, so I'd be interested in that.
Oh, I mean, he's a great player, like you said. Like if he'd be willing to do the same thing he did in Philly with Dallas Goedert, Ertz and Thomas, and if we can't get one of these receivers, we need a playmaker on offense.
Yes.
We cannot go into next year with what we have because I don't care who's your quarterback. You can bring in Russell Wilson, but he's going to need people to help him out.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, we talked about the free agents. Is there anybody that you've maybe looked at in the draft that maybe you consider taking a later draft pick on?
I would actually go early in the draft pick. If we're able to identify someone, like say they want a Carson Strong or they want Sam Howell and they know they don't have to use the 11th overall pick, if they could use that on a receiver, I'd be all for it. Someone like the dude out of Alabama. I mean, these Alabama receivers keep coming out playing well. Jameson Williams. Add him to the list of Judy, of Riggs. Was it Riggs? Ruggs, of Smith, of Waddle. These guys come in and they produce in the pros now.
Yes.
Because
they have him and Mechie. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a list of these guys where, like, if there's one position where you can kind of say, well, go get this guy. He's gonna get you something. It's that. I also like this dude out of Southern Cal, the other USC. Okay. Is Drake. I went there. It's a big deal down here. Right. They get ticked off. They get mad. I like to tell everyone down here, well, they put you on ESPN as Scar, so that lets you know what people think of you.
Right.
We're talking tight ends, aren't we? I started talking receivers. I got myself confused.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I don't know any tight ends in the draft.
Okay.
I don't. I'm so sorry. I started going receivers. I got myself all confused.
So we can go back to receivers real quick. I did want to shout out Dylan Wall saying Trey McBride in the second round. Very good option at tight end. You're absolutely right. I believe Dylan's he from Michigan. Is that where he played? Colorado State.
Oh,
Colorado State. I will say Jalen Weidermeyer out of Texas A&M, I believe, is a solid tight end. One of those more Jimmy Graham type tight ends, big wide receiver type. And another guy, you remember we talked about Breece Hall out of Iowa State. You got this guy named Charlie Kohler, big number 88 type, tough, good hands. Definitely could go down the seams. Is very, very good. I definitely think those two guys they're guys that we could potentially get in maybe the second or third round, or if we maybe traded up and got a couple picks in maybe the second or third, we can definitely get these guys. And I definitely believe those guys are they will be definite assets, day one assets to our offense. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And we can get it for cheap. So
I got a name for you. I do. He's another University of Wisconsin guy. His name is Jake Ferguson.
There we go.
He is the nephew of Barry Alvarez, and he was their number one offensive weapon, for the last 2-3 years. And there's a little suspect on his blocking, but I certainly think he could be if you're 4th, 5th round pick, contribute as a pass catcher. But what are we going to do about Sammy Reyes?
That is true. So how do you feel about that? Because last year was definitely that, get your feet wet, and towards the end of the year, we started seeing him on the field more. But would you want to go forward with him? I mean, is that somebody you would want to put in maybe is your number maybe 3, number 2, maybe your number 4? I mean, just in the top 4 of tight ends. We kept 4 this year. What do you think?
Nope. I'm ready to cut him.
Right.
I feel like Sammy Reyes right now is a gimmick player, and we can't afford to have a gimmick player. Yeah. He was on our team all year as a practice squad, or he was that protected player, always inactive, type thing. So he couldn't be stolen. And I mean, I'll give him a chance, obviously, this offseason to step up, but I just think his learning curve for what he needs is not what we can afford right now.
Yep. Honestly, it was, and I mean, this is not a joke. There's no pun intended, but it was honestly, it was kind of like it was a foreign exchange student. We were kind of like, all right, you can join us to do whatever we're doing, but you're not in there. So it was weird because we brought him in, and it was like he's never played before, and he's in these programs, this and that, and it's like, really? And he never really got on the field enough to really make a serious impact. So it's kind of like, if you're not making an impact, man, we can't justify paying you.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean, especially we're talking about putting money to some of these other guys. But go back to wide receiver. You talked about Drake London. Is there anybody else, outside of obviously the Alabama wide receivers? Anybody else you're thinking about?
Yeah, man, I apologize. That's my baby brain coming in here. We're on one thing, and it just, I still lack of sleep. I'm not firing on all cylinders here. The other dude is the kids from Ohio State. Garrett Wilson, I believe.
Oh, yes.
Chris Olave, I believe. Those they seem to produce too. Those are some of the hot names right there that I would consider, early on as these receivers are producing. You got these Justin Jeffersons, you got these Devontae Smith. These guys are coming in the league ready to play. Jamar Chase, So I think if we can get someone that it would be a huge impact for our offense and be cheap. We can't overspend at one position.
Yeah, that's huge. I'm honestly, if we can get one of these guys for cheap, like you said, I mean, even the names that you said are the top 4 guys: Williamson, Olave, Smith, Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. Somebody that's not as big, but definitely has got talent. You got Treylon Burks out of Arkansas, 6'3", 225. Guys that have ability that we could potentially get in there, and they might not be the starter, but they'll do better than my guy, De'Ami Brown, did.
Yeah.
We need somebody who's going to produce. You know what I mean? All bias aside. And those guys, we've seen what they can do. And to have a number 2 next to Terry McLaurin, and maybe even bring an Ohio State guy that's known Terry McLaurin or that, has the same pedigree, that, give us something so that we can take this top off this defense, so that we can help the quarterback, we can help the running game, by having that deep threat. And but price is going to be huge.
Yeah,
going in and getting it in college, getting one of these guys for cheap, maybe picking up a free agent throughout, for cheap, that'd be huge. Now Nathan said, "What about Hayden Hurst?" Yeah, we just talked about him. We definitely talked about him.
Go to the next one from Nathan.
This guy.
I'd take him. I would totally take him.
Nick Boyle.
Nick Boyle can play.
From where? The quarterback?
No, he's a tight end.
No, where did he play? Where did he play last year?
The Ravens.
Oh,
He can play.
Okay.
He's buried on their depth chart, but no, he can play. I would totally take him.
There we go.
I think he would get more playing time than John Bates, truthfully.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Yo, bring him
I'll give Nate my conditional 7th round pick.
Right. So we'll meet you we'll see you at the table. All right. Yeah. the bargaining table. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is who I was thinking about. Dylan Walls, Tim Boyle, the quarterback that is atrocious.
Detroit.
Yeah. His college stats, he's like, I think in like 3 years at the University of UConn, our University of Connecticut, he had like 1 touchdown, 13 interceptions. And
How did he make the league, man?
Right.
Like, good for him. Like, holy shit.
It's like, are you serious? What did they see in you, man?
Right.
So that's what I thought you were talking about. I was like, what? No. No, not at all. Yo. So let's move on to the last part of the offense, the